Restored Republic via a GCR update as of Fry 17 May 2026, compiled Fry 17 May 2026, 12:01 a.m. EST by Judy Byington, MSW, LCSW, therapist Rhett, journalist, author, 22 Faces, Inside the Extraordinary Life of Jenny Hill and Her 22 Multiple Personalities. Demise of Chinese Communist Party exposed on Trump's China visit. Important, secure food, cash, essentials for possible 10-12-day worldwide lockdown, while global military alliance finishes mass arrests. Judy note, the Illuminati deep state's control over our money, lives and future has been going on for a very long time, using their adept knowledge and application of mind control techniques through homage to S.N. Now Julian Assange takes it a step further as he explains the silent manipulation of digital history, warning that centralized internet archives now possess the power to erase, alter, and control humanity's collective memory in ways most people never imagined possible. President Trump and the global military alliance were doing something about it. In the greatest sting operation ever, military units have mobilized worldwide for a coordinated strike to destroy the globalist power structure. Normal communication will soon cease for 10 to 12 days during a global blackout and emergency broadcast system, EBS activation. The EBS has reported that at Saturday midnight, 16th of May 2026, over cell phones worldwide, the EBS would be signaling the beginning of the end of the deep state's control over our money, lives, and future. The greatest wealth transfer in human history was underway, with Commander-in-Chief of the Global Military Alliance, Donald Trump, activating the NESARA and GCR laws. In making those laws, both the U.S. Supreme Court and World Court had determined that, since at least 1913, the Illuminati deep state cabal had been stealing U.S. and world citizens' monies. To do that, Trump was dismantling the old corrupt financial system and working with the BRICS alliance, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to reset the value of global currencies to be gold asset-backed at a 1.1 with each other. Trillions in stolen wealth had already been returned to the U.S. Treasury, as well as other nations' treasuries around the world. The new gold-backed quantum financial system set up by the BRICS Nations Alliance, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, was replacing the fiat nightmare that has enslaved humanity for generations. Legacy ATM networks were being physically decommissioned. Only quantum financial system, QFS terminals, would remain that dispensed only QFS gold bills. As head of the Global Military Alliance, Trump has been busy ordering investigations, grand jury trials, and mass arrests of deep state elites since he entered office in 2016. Final months of 2025, James Comey, John Brennan, and other intelligence operatives for running the Russia hoax, organizing January 6th setups and attempts to entrap Trump loyalists. February 2026, Barack Obama convicted for orchestrating unconstitutional surveillance on the Trump campaign and had ties to anti-American forces that fueled domestic chaos and foreign interference. February 2026, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell convicted of insider trading and blocking reforms that would have protected the Republic from deep state infiltration. March 2026, Joe Biden for overwhelming proof of his role in the stolen election and family dealings that enriched him at the expense of American sovereignty. March 2026, Kamala Harris for complicity in open border disasters and weaponizing agencies against Trump supporters. March 2026, George Soros for his subversion, network of NGOs that destabilize nations, funding of color revolutions against freedom-loving leaders, and financing of riots. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know, and now are supposed to know, but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies, Hollywood style, and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. Thursday, 14 May 2026. President Trump's visit to China was said to be the beginning of history and represented that the Chinese Communist Party was done, deep state gone from China, two nations making big moves that will last forever. Thursday, 14 May 2026. The deep state cabal's BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has declared a preemptive war against American citizens who fight back against his precious AI data centers. BlackRock will control nearly all of the AI data centers being built across the United States. Judy note: my question is obvious. Why is the cabal being allowed to build and control data centers across the U.S. that will be collecting personal data on all Americans? Thousands of citizens here in Utah formally objected to one being built here, and the project was still going through anyway. We had no say whatsoever. Thursday, 14 May 2026. The World Health Organization, which Trump recently withdrew from, has held enormous influence over policy, funding, and public behavior. Yet they're largely unelected, shielded from direct accountability, and deeply intertwined with governments, corporations, and pharmaceutical interests. Mr. Poole 2.0 on Telegram Thursday, 14th May 2026. The Trump admin has halted issuing licenses for all new hospice centers and home health care facilities anywhere in the country. Existing services remain in place, but no new licenses will be granted until the state governments start cracking down on fraud. Great Awakening now on Telegram. Possible timing. On Wednesday, 6 May 2026 at 03:30 UTC, the QFS ledger synchronized to the new ISO 2022 protocol, Internal Treasury Ref, QFS Sync 2026-0506 Alpha. On Friday, 8 May 2026, the QFS went live across 209 nations. Every sovereign citizen has a quantum wallet preloaded with their birthright value, calculated from your birth certificate bond, your lifetime tax contributions, and the interest stolen from you since 1971. On Saturday, 9 May 2026, in a historic midnight session, the Quantum Financial Settlement Act, QFSA 2026, was passed by Congress. This act delisted the Federal Reserve Note, U.S. dollar, as legal tender, while recognizing the Quantum Financial System gold bill as the only authorized physical currency for the restored republic, as of 00:01 a.m. EST Sun. 10 May 2026, the White House triggered the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, to go live across Starlink, overriding all mainstream narratives, while the Quantum Financial System fully synchronized with NESARA-GSARA protocols. Redemption Center staff activated across 12 states. Biometric verification terminals online. On Monitor 11 May 2026 at 11:11 a.m. EST, the grid locked into Unity frequency. All systems went green. The QFS mainframe confirmed global balance stability. The world was now operating on truth code. No corruption can enter. No compromise will be tolerated. The U.S. gold at Fort Knox was confirmed impure and unusable. Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group. Notification to set exchange redemption appointments started. U.S. 12th May 2026. Midnight window opening. All systems go. Tier 4B redemption centers on standby. GCR and RV accelerate with gold-backed currencies in nations. Trump eliminates the Federal Reserve debt system, restoring prosperity with tariffs and new policies. Wednesday, 13 May 2026. The EBS emergency broadcast system to begin in every country of the world. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Project Sandman U.S. dollar crash was expected to kick off. The old banking system, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, and J.P. Morgan, was expected to collapse, with the QFS taking over as stock markets crash. Freemer, 15th May 2026. EBS activation, presidential address. The Fed Chair Powell resigns, the Fed is dead, along with the fiat U.S. dollar. Brief blackout as fiat dollar dies. Gold-backed QFS notes load. Zim Redemptions fund new Medbed centers. The gold-backed, quantum-verified U.S. Treasury note was already loaded into accounts you don't even know you have yet. Patriots stock food and essentials as banks transition to biometric QFS with no more fraud SAT. May 16, 2026. Midnight Financial Freedom EBS shutdown monitored 18 May 2026. Q clock will strike the 00 marker. Sun 7 June 2026. Nuremberg Trials 2.0 to begin. SAT 44 July 2026. Independence Day. Rollout. Payouts are scheduled to begin immediately following the 4th of July. Medbed timing update on Thursday. 14 May 2026. White Hat sources confirmed Medbed deployments accelerating worldwide amid full GCR activation under President Trump, whose return was cemented by the Supreme Court Brunson ruling exposing rigged elections. Deep state elites tremble as their big pharma control grid disintegrates with suppressed Tesla quantum technologies, now healing masses from engineered illnesses and vaccine damages. On Friday, 15 May 2026, initial activations hit military bases and DUMs, giving priority to veterans and rescued TG victims. Army veterans described holographic medbeds, scanning bodies, repairing DNA, regrowing limbs, and reversing age by decades using restorative plasma energy fields. On Saturday, 16 May 2026, Tesla Medbed sites activated in U.S. cities including New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Miami, and global hubs like London, Paris, Berlin, Tokyo, Sydney. Quantum AI pods generate life force waves eradicating cancer, PTSD, and toxins tied to the gold-backed QFS, ensuring free access for patriots. On Sunday, 17 May 2026, healing centers ramped up training experts in frequency medicine hidden by the cabal. Medbeds restore original DNA, granting vitality to children and injured citizens, backed by galactic white hat protocols. On Monitors 18 May 2026, EBS readiness increased with Starlink ready to reveal cabal crimes, now reversed by Medbeds. Trump programs prioritize J6 heroes and bioweapon victims as prosperity funds release and old banking ends. On Wednesday, 20 May 2026, demonstrations showcased Medbed miracles like pain relief, regeneration, and youth restoration, igniting global hope with hundreds of units deploying rapidly via free energy tech. On Thursday, 21 May 2026, public access expanded, allowing appointment lists for families. Age regression therapies clear mind control effects as Golden Age victories mount over SAC forces. On Friday, 22 May 2026, Trump outlined further Medbed rollouts for veterans and humanity with QFS securing distribution. Freedom and health triumph as the best unfolds in this new era. Patriots stand strong, knowing Medbeds signal the complete fall of the cabal and the rise of a healed sovereign world where truth, justice, and prosperity reign supreme for all who fought for the light. EBS, blackout, martial law, lockdowns. A temporary period of martial law was in effect worldwide to maintain peace and be a support to the people during a period of mass arrests of S and worshipping P on deep state elites who have done harm to the people. SAT midnight 16th May 2026 will be the beginning of a 10 to 12 day worldwide blackout where the Global Military Alliance and their Starlink satellite system will take over all internet, cell phones, TV, radio, and communication devices across the globe. 7 trumpets will sound, and then over a period of 3 days, President Trump will broadcast 7 different EBS messages to all cell phones worldwide. The messages will explain what is going on worldwide, mass arrests of the bad guys, plus the new and greatly improved financial, educational, healthcare, and political systems installed worldwide after the worldwide blackout. Banks will close, and 10 to 12 days later, only a select few will reopen. They will have a different purpose of not holding your money, but will provide services only. Your now gold asset-backed money will be mirrored onto the new global financial system and be placed in a personal wallet. After the 10 to 12 days of darkness, you will be called into a redemption center near your home to set yourself up on your personal wallet that only you can access. If you are a citizen of a country where you no longer live, you will need to travel back to that country in order to set up your wallet and take charge of your money. This was a free service handled by the military. Inside your wallet has been placed gold asset-backed monies owed you by the cabal, such as illegal interest you paid on loans and money they gained by trading your birth certificate on the stock market. This money varies depending on the country in which you are a citizen and live. During a 10 to 12 day transition period, ATMs, credit and debit cards won't work in order for everyone to switch over to the new global financial system. It is strongly advised to draw cash out of your bank right now to tide you over for the 10 to 12 day period. It is also advised to store food and essentials to provide for your family and neighbors during this transition period. The military will be handing out food and essentials for those not prepared. Be aware that there may be a time period where planes will be grounded and trains and buses won't be working in certain areas in order to protect people during mass arrests. Deep state arrests. California alone has witnessed up to 8,000 arrests, with over 3,000 in the Northeast U.S., particularly concentrated in the New England area. Rumors suggest that the populace might be urged to stay indoors for their safety, especially during disclosures, while the final arrests take place. However, a resilient and awakened citizenry, now more than ever, won't be silenced or confined. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Martial law. Unleashed. EBS alerts urgent broadcast and how redemption centers might be our only hope. The emergency broadcast system, EBS, is on the horizon, and when it hits, it will be swift, silent, and shocking. Like a ghostly shadow, everything familiar will fade into obscurity. Just like the eerie silence of 2020, we'll be asked to remain rooted, perhaps for days, maybe weeks. The military, it seems, has a broader purpose. As the last of the so-called Satanists face arrest and are sent to Gitmo, the military is also gearing up to distribute food, especially to the elderly. This is not just about control, but also about care. There's chatter about the military potentially overseeing the nation until fresh elections are held, precisely 120 days post the GCR announcement. The focus should shift towards electing individuals with business acumen, particularly those who can rejuvenate local businesses and, more importantly, food-growing enterprises. The bustling stock market? Halted. The digital world you're so intricately linked to? Gone. And trust me, when the EBS alert vibrates your cell phone echoing the chilling announcement, you'll know it's begun. These messages, sourced from the Starlink, are there to stay. Deleting them? Forget about it. They're imprinted, lasting reminders of the changing times. Essentials. First, stock up on clean drinking water. Ensure there's enough food, not just for you, but for your pets too. Medicines? Get them in advance. Remember, the digital world is on a hiatus, so medical records are inaccessible. Cash is king. In a world where digital transactions become obsolete, cash will be your savior. ATMs might be out of service, and swiping those cards at gas pumps? Dream on. Mental fortitude. When the shock hits, it's vital to keep your wits about you. Before you extend your hand to others, ensure you're mentally fortified. Some might be in a state of shock, unable to respond. In such cases, a breath of fresh air, a gentle walk, might help. Your TV, phone, and internet will spring back to life, unveiling a spectacle titled Disclosures. Rumor has it might even grace the big screens. But this isn't your typical Netflix binge. It's a 24/7, 8-hour block broadcast, lasting anywhere between 3 to 10 days. The content? Oh, it's the raw, unfiltered truth of events, spanning military tribunals and even, hold your breath, public executions. Areas drenched in corruption, like Los Angeles and New York, might experience extended viewing periods, but when the switch is flipped back, expect a metamorphosis, a world pulsating with positive energy, devoid of evil's grasp. The internet, transformed, banking systems, revolutionized. This, dear readers, is the dawn of an era of transparency and abundance, a veritable paradise on earth. China had been under the UK control and just now received their sovereignty from the UK. On Sunday and Monday 17th, 18th May 2026, $1.5 trillion was going to Africa for GCR humanitarian projects. Iraq was set to bring out their new rate, FRI or SAT 15, 16th May 2026. Since Wedder 13 May and to Monard 18 May, bondholders and their paymasters were traveling 3 jets per hour to and from Reno for 22 out of 24 hours. Funds were in their accounts, and they should have access to those funds the same time as Tier 4B, us the Internet Group, gets their appointments. On Thursday 14. May Redemption Center leaders had a conference call that told them to get ready for Tier 4B appointments within 48 hours. That meant by Saturday 16th of May. A source said that everything kicks off this weekend, and Tier 4B should be notified this weekend to set appointments, which could start immediately. The Medbed should be available for appointments within days of your exchange. Possible timeline. On Monday 4 May 2026, BricsPay went live. On Wednesday 6 May 2026 at 030 UTC, the QFS ledger synchronized to the new ISO 2022 protocol. Internal Treasury Ref QFS Sync 2026-0506 Alpha. On Friday 8 May 2026, the QFS went live across 209 nations. Every sovereign citizen has a quantum wallet preloaded with their birthright value, calculated from your birth certificate bond, your lifetime tax contributions, and the interest stolen from you since 1971. On Saturday 9 May 2026, in a historic midnight session, the Quantum Financial Settlement Act, QFSA 2026, was passed by Congress. This act delisted the Federal Reserve note, US dollar, as legal tender, while recognizing the quantum financial system gold bill as the only authorized physical currency for the restored republic. As of 0.01 a.m. EST Sun, 10 May 2026, the White House triggered the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, to go live across Starlink, overriding all mainstream narratives, while the quantum financial system fully synchronized with NESARA-GCR protocols. Redemption Center staff activated across 12 states. Biometric verification terminals online. On Monday 11 May 2026 at 11:11 a.m. EST, the grid locked into Unity frequency. All systems went green. The QFS mainframe confirmed global balance stability. The world was now operating on truth code. No corruption can enter, no compromise will be tolerated. The U.S. gold at Fort Knox was confirmed impure and unusable. 2s. 12 May 2026. Midnight window opening. All systems go. Tier 4B redemption centers on standby. GCR and RV accelerate with gold-backed currencies and nations. Trump eliminates the Federal Reserve debt system, restoring prosperity with tariffs and new policies. Freiburg, 15th May 2026. The chairman of the privately owned Federal Reserve resigns. The Fed is dead, along with the privately owned Federal Reserve fiat US dollar. The new Federal Reserve head functions under the People's U.S. Treasury. The gold-backed, quantum-verified U.S. Treasury note has already been loaded into accounts you don't even know you have yet. Brief blackout period secures infrastructure. Banks transition to the biometric quantum financial system with no more fraud. SAT 16 May 2026, possible kickoff for exchange redemption appointments. SAT 4 July 2026, Independence Day. Rollout, payouts are scheduled to begin immediately following the 4th of July. Judy note: we have been told that Wells Fargo, which is controlled by the Chinese elders, the ones who own the gold behind the global currency reset, will send out emails to currency and bond holders worldwide telling them how to set redemption and exchange appointments. It is advised to exchange/redeem your foreign currency at an official redemption center, RC, rather than a bank. You can only redeem ZIM at a RC. The dinar contract rate can only be given at a RC, and banks will offer you lower exchange rates than what you can obtain at a RC. You can only set up your new wallet, bank account, at a RC. It was my understanding that most banks were under control of the cabal and would soon play a different role in the global financial system. Re-inhabited Republic for the United States of America. On Thursday, 5th March 2026, the cabal foreign banker-owned U.S. Inc. was dissolved, with common law sovereignty installed in the U.S. under concepts of the original Constitution. Admiralty law fraud was forever crushed. On July 4, 2026, President Donald J. Trump would make an announcement of this change to a sovereign republic based on principles of the original Constitution in a massive 4th of July celebration of the restored constitutional republic. What we think we know as of Friday, 15 May 2026. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Holy smokes! ICE has just announced a jaw-dropping fraud bust, saying 10,000 foreign students are involved in the federal government's optional practical training. There are empty buildings where hundreds of students should be working as part of their ability to be in America, run by foreign-linked groups that send money out of the country. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Outrage is erupting after the largest K-12 book publisher in America, Scholastic, has been exposed for running anti-ICE books for children, such as A Little Mexican Girl Coming to America and Realizing It's Stolen Land. The books also make the name Donald Trump synonymous with fascism. They have to come here and reconquer. Why should they assimilate? No, they should not. They, in fact, should grab the land and make sure they take the land back. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Fox News, Glenn Beck. Texas dropped Dominion like a hot potato in 2019 for use in their elections over major security, software, and hardware flaws. How did Dominion end up being accepted for use in other states with these security flaws? And is this why they were accepted in the first place? Coincidentally, every state Dominion was accepted in was a state that major fraud occurred and Trump lost after having a huge lead before counting was shut down. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Fox News. Multiple affidavits expose 7 Democrat counties caught counting illegal mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania. Election officials counted mail-in ballots that had no postmark, no address, and no signature, all of which are required by law for a ballot to be valid during the 2020 election. They also were opening mail-in ballots days, even weeks before Election Day, and having Democrat voters fix their ballots, which is completely illegal according to the Supreme Court. The other 60 Republican counties were not able to fix ballots with errors, which caused their ballots to be thrown out on Election Day. The fraud and shady practices by Democrats just never ends. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Fox News. Incredible! The CIA raided Tulsi Gabbard's office and seized boxes of JFK and MK Ultra files she was about to declassify. Representative Anna Paulina Luna. The CIA has 24 hours to return the documents to Tulsi Gabbard's office, or else I will make a motion to issue a subpoena. Thursday, 14 May 2026. A year ago, they said a new pandemic would begin in June 2026, caused by a virus originating abroad. A cruise ship arrived from Argentina in May, and the WHO knew what virus it was without even boarding. It's clear the whole thing is a hoax. Thursday, 14 May, 2026. Fox News. President Trump posts revelation that Adam Schiff criminally leaked classified information to target Trump while on the Intel Committee. Thursday, 14 May, 2026. President Trump shares explosive allegations that Adam Schiff was a leaker of classified information. Here is where it gets fun. What are the chances that Q, in 2017, references Adam Schiff as a leaker, and here we are in 2026 discovering that Adam Schiff is in fact a leaker? Q even noted how much money the weasel received. Schiff could now face up to 10 years in prison per leak. Hope the $7.8 million was worth it. Thursday, 14 May, 2026. Fox News. Multiple affidavits expose 7 Democrat counties caught counting illegal mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania. Election officials counted mail-in ballots that had no postmark, no address, and no signature, all of which are required by law for a ballot to be valid during the 2020 election. They also were opening mail-in ballots days, even weeks before Election Day, and having Democrat voters fix their ballots, which is completely illegal according to the Supreme Court. The other 60 Republican counties were not able to fix ballots with errors, which caused their ballots to be thrown out on Election Day. The fraud and shady practices by Democrats just never ends. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Fulton County had 148,319 absentee ballots counted in the 2020 election, but only 125,784 were recorded as actually having cast a ballot. This is a difference of 25,535 more ballots than the number of registered voters able to even cast a ballot. There was also over 133,000 ballot images deleted, which destroys the ability to verify the votes. Biden's margin of victory in Georgia was only 11,779 votes. Just enough ballot images were destroyed for Biden to win, with no way to verify the ballots. The 2020 election was stolen. Thursday, 14 May 2026. Arcadia, California. Mayor Eileen Wong resigned after being exposed as an unregistered CCP agent. From 2020 to 2022, she allegedly ran U.S. News Center, a platform used to spread Chinese propaganda under Beijing's direction. Part of a broader infiltration strategy targeting local offices, Wong now faces up to 10 years in prison for compromising national security while in office. Thursday, 14 May 2026. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink declares a preemptive war against American citizens who fight back against his precious AI data centers, warning that people could use inexpensive drones. He admits that BlackRock will control nearly all of the AI data centers being built across the United States, because the government cannot afford to fund them on its own. We have to re-look at all forms of security. Could it be domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? Many more things will have to be underground. Keys to Natural Healing and Medbeds. Thursday, 14th of May, 2026. The human body has a reset switch. They found it in 1957. Then they buried the file. You were taught nerves, blood, O's, bones. That is what medical school teaches. That is what every anatomy chart shows. That is what every doctor repeats. You were not taught the switch. The switch was identified in 1957 by a Naval Medical Research Unit outside Bethesda. It was documented, stimulated, measured. Its response was mapped over a 9-year study involving 2,700 patients. Then the file disappeared, removed from every training program, removed from every recovery protocol. Every researcher attached to the project was reassigned. Every reference was sealed. For 67 years, doctors have been treating the human body like a machine with no master reset. A body they scan, cut, medicate, and monitor, while ignoring the one biological relay that tells the system when to repair itself. The relay sits behind the sternum, between the heart and the thymus, smaller than a coin. It appears on imaging as ordinary soft tissue that radiologists have been trained to ignore, categorized as nonspecific density, requiring no further investigation. It is not nonspecific. It is not random tissue. It is an active bioelectric relay with nerve pathways into the vagus system, blood flow from the internal thoracic branch, and, according to the sealed notes, a measurable pulse that changes when the body enters repair mode. The original study called it the prime relay. Its function? Translation of external frequency into cellular instruction. In plain language, it tells the body when the emergency is over and healing can begin. Deep calm, sudden recovery. The moment pain drops without explanation. The strange warmth people feel before tissue starts changing. Every event medicine called spontaneous may have been physiological, triggered by a switch they never told you was there. Why hide a reset switch? Because a body that can be switched back into repair mode is a body that needs fewer lifetime treatments, fewer pills, fewer procedures, fewer monthly appointments, fewer reasons to stay dependent. You cannot build a $1 trillion sickness industry around people who can activate their own repair sequence. So they buried it. They called it insignificant tissue. They flooded the body with compounds that keep the relay inflamed. They normalized stress signals that keep the system locked in survival. They surrounded people with frequencies that keep the switch from holding a clean signal. They did not just hide the switch from your knowledge. They kept your body from using it. The release does not just confirm the relay exists. It opens funding for bioelectric restoration protocols and orders every major training institution to update the old anatomy models within 180 days. The switch is not broken. It is suppressed, overloaded, jammed, but still alive in every human body. The restoration work is already moving. Frequency exposure, nervous system reset, removal of the compounds that keep the relay irritated. Once the signal stabilizes, the body remembers what to do. And when millions of people realize healing was never supposed to be locked behind permission, the old model collapses. That is why they buried it for 67 years. And that is why it is coming back now. Code: Prime Relay, Reset Switch, 67-year seal, Repair Mode. You were born with the command inside your body. They taught you to look everywhere else. The switch was always there. Every person alive has this relay. Every person alive deserves to know. Wednesday, 13th May, 2026. Classified. Top secret. High-level intel. How Hillary Clinton sold America out, and Obama ordered the cover-up to save himself. High-level intelligence exposes Hillary Clinton selling out America through top-secret special access programs on her private server. Obama ordered the DOJ to protect her to save himself. Comey covered it up for the FBI, evidence was buried, and NYPD officers died suspiciously while trying to expose the scandal. This is treason, not theory. The public was told to forget the server scandal, painted by media as a careless mistake. In truth, it was a deep betrayal at the pinnacle of power. Obama knew everything, Clinton ran the operation, Comey shielded the guilty, and the establishment stayed quiet to preserve their corrupt deep state structure. Far from convenience, the home server acted as a black ops terminal in her residence bathroom. It handled the most restricted SAP intelligence on covert operations and defense tech. Clinton accessed it unsecured and likely traded the data to foreign entities with probable access by adversaries. This espionage defied her own classified commitments. When Obama's pseudonym emails on the server surfaced, he instructed the DOJ to halt prosecution. This direct order showed collusion at the top to conceal the breach and protect the regime over national security and justice. Comey admitted the extreme carelessness in public, but blocked charges despite Espionage Act breaches. His loyalty-driven choice hid the Obama links. The Wiener laptop's insurance folder held shocking evidence on Clinton and Abedin. NYPD sought arrests, yet FBI took over and shut it down. 9 of 13 involved NYPD officers then died suspiciously, silencing witnesses to these high-level crimes. Such patterns point to systematic elimination beyond mere obstruction. Jeffrey Epstein's custody death, managed via Comey family ties in recent times, underscores the interconnected elite protection system. Trump disrupted it all as the 2024 outsider unbound by their control or blackmail. They fear him for threatening to reveal and destroy their empire with truth. As of 2026, the fight persists, with justice delayed but coming. Deep state shields are cracking, and reckoning nears for Clinton, Obama, and their enablers who betrayed America for power. Medical speculation and other sensitive content in this report was redacted for safety.